importance of mineral mixture in sheep and goat production. Nutrition play a very important role in any living organism. If any deficiency arises, then the production system will badly affected. Regarding sheep and goat, we can say that this is the most neglected sector in our country. In most of the states, and the farmers, those who rear sheep and goat, just feeding the animals or filling the belly. So even they not maintain the balanced ration. That's why the production efficiency of those animals is decreasing. And the farmers, they are not getting optimum production in respect of milk, in respect of the quality meat, in respect of the wool fibers. So we should think and we work together to increase the production efficiency of our sheep and goat and increase the economic and livelihood of the sheep and goat farmers. Or we have to prepare the ration according to the physiological condition of the animal. And when we prepare according to the physiological condition and offer those ration to the animals, then the production performance and livability of the animal will be better. Because we fulfill the requirement on the physiological condition what they need. Seasonal variation is also, and environmental condition also affect the requirement of the animals. Like environmental condition means the climatic condition. So in summer condition, in winter condition, in autumn, the requirement will vary. And we should offer the feed according to the environmental condition, then it will be the better for the animal health and getting optimum production. So next here we can see that the feed which should be balanced and economical. So economy is one of the important parameters for rearing of the livestock, especially sheep and goat. So we should formulate the ration from the locally available feed resources so that it will be more economical. And once we formulate, considering the economic point of the view, then it will be better for the farmers as well as animals also. So adaptation will not be affected, and we should give the animal a balanced ration. And if not given the balanced ration, then what will happen? This is a big question. And farmers should aware about that, what is the balanced ration, and if not given to the animals, then what problems arises due to imbalance feed. So first of all, the total flock productivity will decrease if farmers not giving the balanced feed to their animals. Total productive in the sense of the optimum weight gain will not coming, and the loss of weight gain. Sometimes abortion may occurs due to lack of vital nutrients. We will coming on later slides in detail. So poor nursing ability of the offspring will happen due to imbalanced ration. Low immunity is very much important. So once the immunity of the herd will be compromised, then the mortality will be increased. And even the chance of different problem, health associated problem will be arises. So good ration and balanced ration will improve the immunity of the animals. If immunity will be better in herd condition, then the performance of the animal will be more and farmers will get better income. Several nutritional disorders or nutrition related problems will arise in those farms where the farmers not supplemented the balanced ration. So there are different nutrition related problem or feed related problem. I will discuss in detail one by one. what are those problems which are associated with the feed. And finally, the mortality of that herd will be more. So mortality percentage will be increased, and that will affect the economic condition of the farmers. So under such conditions, the farm will be under the loss. So we must provide balanced ration to the animals so that we can get more profit and the herd health will be improved. So how nutritional disorders or nutrition related problem arises? It is due to even excess of nutrient, even deficiency of nutrients, or imbalance of nutrients. So these three features are very much important. Excess of nutrient will also affect different metabolism of the body, metabolic process. So it again causes the nutritional disorders. Deficiency is deficiency of any vital nutrients. Nutrient in the means, that means the nutrient, we understand about the nutrient first, like carbohydrate, protein, fat, minerals, vitamins. And one most important nutrient is water also. So these six nutrients that should be provided according to the physiological condition of the. If any deviation or major deviation occurs in these nutrients, then the problem arises. So deficiency causes very big problem in health status, in production status, in total overall herd conditions. Imbalance of nutrient is also very much important. So sometimes excess, sometimes deficiency, and sometimes imbalance of nutrient. Finally, these three factors will affect the health condition and overall productive condition of the sheep and goat, and which causes the nutritional disorders. Some examples of nutritional disorders, you are aware about that, and these conditions are arises under the field conditions also, when offer excess quantity of the legume under the legume, when farmers grow the leguminous fodder, then they offer major quantity of the legume itself. So it will be better to feed leguminous and non-leguminous fodder in mixed condition. So when farmers offer more legumes, then what will happen? The bloat condition will happen. So bloat may be either gaseous bloat or frothy bloat. So when more legume fodder offered to the sheep and goat, then generally there may be the chance of frothy bloat. It will be more serious kind of the bloat. And there is problem in the release of the gas. So other complications arises under these conditions. So bloat is major nutritional disorders, and lactic acidosis is also one of the major disorders, and it will happen due to high intake of grains or concentrate mixture. So we should take care about that, and when we suggest to the farmer to feed or offer concentrate mixture in known quantity only, not ad-libbed up quantity. Otherwise, there may be the chance of development of acidosis. Next is the ketosis. That condition happens due to the negative energy balance mainly. Other conditions are also associated with this ketosis, but mainly arises due to the improper metabolism of the fat metabolism. So due to negative energy balance, ketosis may occur, and under such conditions, we should take care about the energy. We should offer the energy rich grains to the animals. Urolithiasis is nowadays major problem, and in clinics and our hospitals also regularly, even 2 or 3 days alternatively, the goats are coming, and they have that urinary bladder chalk and some problem in urinary tract, and the doctors, they found that the condition of the urolithiasis. So this is a major problem nowadays, and this happens due to the calcium and phosphorus imbalance. There is a formation of calculi in urinary bladder or even the urinary tract system. So these are also associated with the nutrition and milk fever. We know well about that in high producing animals, this condition will develop due to the deficiency of the calcium or hypocalcemia, we can say that. And deficiency of magnesium, which cause the hypomagnesemia or tetany, we can say that. And hyperactivity of the animals occurs in such conditions. When the animals just graze the lush pasture, there may be the chance of the magnesiemic tetany. And white muscle disease, which occurs due to the deficiency of selenium and vitamin E. So this selenium and vitamin E balance in the diet is also very much important. And muscle degenerative changes occurs, and animals are not able to even walk freely, and a stiff gait condition will arise under this vital nutrient deficiency condition. So several other deficiency diseases like blindness, raising of head, that occurs due to the deficiency of thiamine and vitamin A. Polioencephalomalacia, very well known problems under the field conditions that occurs. This is the neurological disorders, and it happens due to improper metabolism of the glucose. Once the metabolism will affected or it will not completed, then the glucose availability will be poor to the brains. So we should take care about that, and it happens thiamine due to deficiency of thiamine, and thiamine is one of the important vitamins which are associated with the metabolism. So due to lack of that, this condition arises. Wool eating, even picking, and poor libido condition in male will happen due to deficiency of the zinc. A skin related problem, dandruff condition, patches on the skin in sheep and goat both. This might be happens due to the deficiency of the zinc. Even hoof deformity, joint problem, swelling of the feet. So these conditions are directly and indirectly associated with the zinc deficiency. So we should take care about even the soil of the most of the places in our country which are deficient in soil. So we should take care about the zinc deficiency, and we must supplement the zinc in the diet of a small ruminant. Hair loss is again a deficiency problem due to the zinc deficiency and sulfur. Excess of selenium also cause the hair loss. So selenium toxicity is also associated with this problem. Excess salivation may see in sheep and goat under the zinc and sulfur deficiency. Salivation, continuous salivation is there, and tearing of eye, that is also known as epiphoria. So it arises due to the deficiency of sulfur, and continuous tearing happens in sheep and goat both due to deficiency of sulfur. Next is the deficiency of copper, which occurs in sheep and goat both, that incoordination, paralysis of the hind leg, that we can also say the ingiotic ataxia may happen, Schwebeck condition occurs, abortion, there may be the chance of abortion, a stillbirth condition, immature birth, rough hair coat, these all are associated with the coppers. So copper is also very vital trace minerals which are being required in optimum amount in sheep and goat both. In case of deficiency of iodine, abortion is the major concern and hairless fetus delivered by the female, doe and eve. Pica is also major concern. It happens due to the deficiency of phosphorus and common salt deficiency. When the animals consume unwanted things, they consume soils and other things. Those are not the feed for those animals. So other than the required feed and whatever they need, they consume other than this. Low milk, low urine, overexcitement, and convulsion is the sign of magnesium deficiency. So this also happens under this current climatic conditions and rainy seasons. Knuckling means the movement, improper movement, reluctant to walk, deformity in legs. This problem is associated with the magnesium deficiency. So here we can see that some photographs of above deficiency problem, and you can see here that the polioencephalomalacia condition in sheep and hairless fetus, and these all are rough hair coat. These all are associated with the deficiency of vital nutrients like minerals. Here we can just state that the preventive measures which are associated with some disorders. So how we can prevent it? So for controlling of the urinary calculi or urolithiasis condition, to overcome from this, we have to supplement the ammonium chloride at the rate of 0.5 to 1%. For controlling or preventive measures under the SARA, subacute ruminal acidosis condition, so and laminitis conditions, we can supplement soda bicarbonate. So it acts as buffering agents. So it will maintain the pH of the rumen, and once the pH will be maintained, then there may be the less chance of development of the subacute ruminal acidosis, and laminitis is associated with the ruminal acidosis. So we can overcome from those problems when we supplement soda bicarb at the rate of 0.5%. For controlling worms, actually the worms is associated with different problems in small ruminants like sheep and goat. So this is a major concern about the low lying area. So we can just supplement or mix copper sulfate at the rate of 50 gram per quintal or 0.5% in the diet. So by that way, we can control the burn load and we can reduce the burn load in small ruminants. So now coming to the main topic, that is the minerals, and you are well aware that what is the significance of minerals in a small ruminants. Mineral is one of the most important nutrients which needs different functions or to perform different function of the body. So for optimum performance of the animal, we have to supplement these very important nutrients to the animals in proper quantity and proper amount. So we must ensure that the diet which are being offered to the animal must contain the mineral mixture. Otherwise, there may be the chance of deficiency of, or that reflects the, or that decrease the production performance of the animals. It requires in very small quantity. but very important. And the minerals which are associated with the skeletal system, without minerals, no skeletal system will be uniform or well developed. It plays a very important role in the metabolism. So without mineral or even deficiency of mineral, the metabolism will be badly affected. Once the metabolism will be affected, the whole system, whole things at cellular level will be affected and immunity will be compromised, and there will be the major chance of the loss of the animals and mortality of the herd will be increased. So mineral composition, it will majorly depend on the soil conditions. Any feed stuff's mineral composition will depend on the soil mineral composition or availability of the mineral in the soil, because those are closely related and directly related with each other. So once the soil is deficient in those minerals, definitely the feedstuffs grown on that soil will be deficient. So in our country, most of the state, there is deficiency of the zinc. And zinc, you know about that, zinc is very vital minerals. And zinc is associated with a different enzyme system and which play a very important role in the metabolism. So zinc deficiency in some state, copper is also deficient in the soil. So copper deficiency is also arises, and the plant which grown on that soil and offered to the animals, that animals will also deficient in those minerals which are deficient in soil condition. So we must supplement the additional minerals to those animals other than the feed sources to fulfill the requirement of the minerals in the body. By that way only we can get optimum performance of and better health condition of the small ruminants. Generally, young and leafy materials, which are a rich source of the essential minerals. So we must offer the young and leafy materials to our animals like sheep and goat under the grazing condition to reduce or minimize the mineral deficiency. We are aware about that the minerals and types of the minerals, that means the classification of the minerals, that is macro minerals and micro minerals. Micro mineral, the requirement will be more, and micro mineral, the requirement will be very few or very small amount in ppm. So major micro minerals are calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, potassium, sodium, chlorine, and sulfur. So these 7 minerals are coming under the macro group because their requirement will be more. The micro minerals here we mentioned only 15, but more than that. So it requires the requirement of micro mineral in very trace amount. So it is also called trace minerals as well. Like some important trace minerals are iron, copper, zinc, manganese, molybdenum, iodine, cobalt, selenium. So these are directly associated with the production system of the small ruminants. So we must balance these trace minerals and macro minerals in optimum amount for getting more production or optimum productivity of the animals. Why minerals are important for sheep and goat? Sheep and goat, when fed on the pasture condition, farmers in our country, they rear sheep and goat and under the pasture conditions mainly. So we must promote the sheep and goat farming under the stall fed condition. And the pasture condition, there may be the chance of development of the deficiency of the minerals because soils are deficient, or even some minerals are more quantity, or like iron. Iron in most of the soil of our country is a rich source of the iron. Water is also rich in iron. So excess of iron, there may be the chance of excess of iron as well. But the grasses which appears look like green and lush type. So fresh grasses, but there may be the chance of deficiency of vital minerals in those grasses as well. Other nutrients like carbohydrate, protein, fat, and other major nutrients, they might be fulfilled from those pasture grasses, but there may be the chance of deficiency of mineral under such conditions also. So that will affect the production performance of the animals. So we must supplement the mineral mixture under pasture condition as well. There may be the chance of antagonism of the minerals under some certain circumstances. When excess in other minerals, they may work against the another minerals and they reduce the absorption of those minerals as well. So they make unavailability of those minerals, vital minerals, due to the antagonism. Like excess calcium, which interfere with the availability of magnesium. Excess sulfur, they interfere with the availability of copper. And we know about the copper, sulfur, and molybdenum interaction, how they affect each other and how the animals, especially sheep and goat, will be affected due to interaction and antagonism of those vital minerals. So what deficiency and excess, which are associated with the deficiency of the mineral and excess of the mineral. But we should remember that the condition of deficiency and excess will not be noticeable in overnight condition. These are not as a chronic case. These are not an acute case. It will be a chronic case. So it appears after very long time. So clinical symptom will develop very long time. It will take much time, and due to that, the production efficiency of the animal will decrease. So overall herd production will be affected. And when the farmers get clinical symptoms or deficiency related symptoms, the productivity of the animal goes down. So the symptom will arises, it will take very long time in case of the mineral deficiency or mineral excess. It will affect the immune system very badly, and thereby there is compromised immune function. And once the immune function will be compromised in the hard conditions, then there may be the chance of increase in mortality, or the profit of the farmer will be less under such conditions. Growth and reproductive problem is directly associated with the mineral deficiency, or even we can say the excess of the minerals sometimes. So there is a major chance of decline in the performance of the animal, major chance of the decline in the reproductive efficiency of the animals. So reproduction is very much concerned about. If the farmers maintained good herd conditions, then the reproductive efficiency must be maintained. And if reproductive efficiency will compromise, then the herd health condition will be reduced. So ultimately what happens? There is a heavy loss to the farmers due to excess or due to deficiency of the minerals. So to overcome this problem, the farmer must suggest that they continuously offer required amount of the mineral mixture to sheep and goat to overcome this problem. Because the cure is also important. The cure, and to overcome this problem, this will also not happen in 1 day or 2 days. It will also take very long time to overcome mineral deficiency problem. So there is dual loss of the farmers. To reduce these losses, farmer must suggested to offer mineral mixture known quantity to their animals. Minerals are required in trace amount, but it has good impact on overall production performance of the small ruminants. As we know that the trace minerals, which are directly associated with the different enzyme activity. It also acts as antioxidant status. It neutralizes the reactive oxygen molecule, or it is those minerals are a stress booster. So reduces the stress at cellular level. It protects the skin. It is associated with the hairs and wools. It is associated with the bone development, structural development, health condition. It also works as an immunomodulation and different other functions of the body. And its deficiency in female, which can negatively impact the reproduction. Its deficiency in male also impact the performance of the buck and male animals. So in case of the female, what happens? That delayed stress cycle, silent heat is also a major concern for the farmers. Animals are not showing whether they are under heat condition or not. So silent heat condition, delay stress, embryonic death, there may be the chance of the death of the embryo itself, and abortion, there may be the chance of abortion in earlier stage, delay in puberty, which also affect the farm economically, delay puberty condition, decrease conception rate. These two problems are directly related with the economic concern, increase instance of dystocia sometimes, but dystocia is, other problems are also associated with the dystocia, but one of the major nutrient like minerals are associated with these conditions. Retained placenta may happens, and big lambs and kids. So health condition of the kids and lamb will be deteriorated when the mineral deficiency arises in female under such physiological condition, under pregnancy condition. Its deficiency also which impact in male reproduction as well. And what happens? There is delay, there may be the chance of delayed puberty, decreased libido, reduced spermatogenesis, which is very vital and very important. Reduces spermatogenesis, and semen quality will also deteriorate. Mobility of the spermatozoa will be reduced due to deficiency of trace minerals. If not provided throughout the year, those minerals, then what happens? The poor semen quality, and ultimately it affects the herd performance. So once the herd performance will be affected, then definitely farmer will be in loss. Those farm will be in loss. So economically very important, and we have to supplement or suggest the farmers to supplement the mineral mixture. That will be the better idea to get optimum performance and better herd performance in a small ruminant. Role of some minerals. So in left side, we can see that the name of the minerals like calcium and phosphorus. It plays very important role in intracellular messengers for transmission of nerve impulse. And it also helps in the release of ATP and nucleic acid. So these two vital minerals or major minerals, calcium and phosphorus, is directly associated with the nerve impulses, muscle tonicity, and energy. What happens if these two mineral deficiency arises in sheep and goat? Then lower milk yield, milk production goes down. Hypocalcemic condition will develop in female, and stress cycle will be affected. And ultimately, what happens? The poor conception rate. So poor conception rate itself deteriorates the performance of the farm. If timely conception is not happens, then the farmer, there is a loss of economy, and it is a major concern of any farm. What happens in toxicity condition of those minerals like calcium and phosphorus? Hypercalcemic problem may arise. Soft tissue calcification may happens, and the major concern is the urinary calculi formation. This is major concern when the calcium phosphorus ratio will not maintain of or excess of calcium phosphorus in the diet. Next mineral is magnesium. It plays a very important role in synthesis of nucleic acid, and deficiency of magnesium, the condition is known as tetany, and toxicity when excess of magnesium in the diet, then what happens? Development of urolithiasis, like means calculi formation in urinary tract, lethargic condition, sometimes diarrhea may appear, and reduction in feed intake will be noticed. Copper and molybdenum, these two minerals and balance of these two minerals is very important. These copper and molybdenum plays very important role in different enzyme system during the metabolism. It is also associated with the prostaglandin synthesis, and deficiency of copper and molybdenum, which causes the delayed stress cycle. There may be the chance of abortion, death of fetus, infertility, and ataxia. Neurological problems may arise in deficiency of copper and molybdenum. Under the toxicity condition or excess of copper and molybdenum, hemoglobinuria, there is excretion of hemoglobin with urine. So hemoglobinuria may arise, which leads to anemic condition, and jaundice may appear. Shooting diarrhea may happens in copper toxicity and molybdenum toxicity. Anorexia means reduction in feed intake, and reproduction related issue may be arises in toxicity of copper and molybdenum. Another mineral, very important mineral, is selenium. Though it requires in very small quantity, but it plays a very important role, and it is a component of selenoprotein, selenocysteine, and it acts as antioxidant. That means it protects the cell from the oxidation, excess oxidation, and it reduces the stress condition. Cellular stress will be reduced by this selenium. And the deficiency of selenium, what happens in deficiency condition? Mortality will be increased in early stage. Reduction in the sperm motility, uterine contraction, cystic ovary development, fertility rate will be decreased, and fetal membrane retention. There may be the chance of retention of the fetal membrane in female, and in toxicity condition of the selenium, poor growth, abnormal gait, there may be the chance of vomition, dyspnea, tetanic spasm, tetanic may develop, and labored respiration, and if excess, then death may arise sometimes due to selenium toxicity. Zinc is very important. Next mineral is zinc. Zinc is very important and is a component of different metalloenzymes, and it plays very important role in the metabolism as well. So deficiency of zinc, which impaired spermatogenesis and reduced fertility. So major concern about the reproduction efficiency, the zinc is directly associated with the reproduction. And toxicity, what happens? Reduced weight gain. Feed efficiency will be reduced. Feed efficiency reduced means the nutrient utilization at cellular level will be reduced. And feed intake will be reduced due to excess of zinc. Now coming to the deficiency of the minerals, what symptoms arises and what are the possible supplementation to overcome from those deficiency, and what are the source of minerals. So in case of calcium, the deficiency symptom mainly the deformed bone development and retard growth. These are the two major important concern. And types and classes of the animal which are most affected, that means age group, which condition or which age group animals will be more affected. So young animals will be more affected. Newly kidded female, does and ewe both are affected. Finishing sheep and goats which are reared on high grain diet will be affected. So these conditions and age group of the animal will be more affected by the calcium deficiency. And the source of calcium is the milk, green feed, grains, limestone powder, the major source. Phosphorus deficiency, deformity in bone, retard growth rate, poor fertility. Fertility is also associated with the phosphorus deficiency, and pica is developed, and the animals start eating soil and other unwanted things. And the classes of animal mainly affected are young and growing animals affected by the phosphorus deficiency, and milk and cereals are good source of the phosphorus. What happens in magnesium deficiency? Falling on side with legs and alternately rigidly extended upward and relaxed. So this is the symptom what the animal showing under the magnesium deficiency. Frothing and profuse salivation may be seen under the magnesium deficiency, and weight loss and hyperexcitability is one of the major concern, and farmers may see the hyperexcitability during the magnesium deficiency condition. Young and growing animals are mostly affected, but sometimes adults are also affected by the magnesium deficiency. And grain byproduct, wild seed cakes are good source of the magnesium. Sodium deficiency causes chewing of the wood, picking on the dirt, loss of appetite, and growth rate will be retarded under the sodium deficiency. As we know that sodium is associated with the intracellular fluids, so there may be the chance of dehydration under disturbance in the cellular fluid and osmolarity. So all classes of the animals is associated with the and affected with the sodium deficiency, and common salt is the good source of the sodium. Like copper, what happens in copper deficiency? Swayback condition developed. Under swayback, what happens? The young animals or which are unable to walk on their back legs. So back leg will be mostly affected under the copper deficiency. There is a scarring condition may develop, diarrhea condition develop, and a stiffness in the leg. So animals are not able to walk properly, and even not able to stand properly. Body coat will be, or hair coat will be dull under copper deficiency condition. And young lambs and kids are mostly affected in copper deficiency by copper deficiency. And the sources of copper is grains, salt containing copper sulfate, and it will be supplemented at the rate of 5%. So to overcome the copper deficiency, we have to offer the copper sulfate. Manganese deficiency, which caused difficulty in walking, deformed forelimbs, poor fertility, is also associated with the manganese deficiency. And young lambs, kids, and adults, all classes of the animal shall be affected by the deficiency of the manganese. And grain byproduct is a good source of manganese. Zinc is very important minerals, and deficiency of the zinc is causes a stiffness in the joints, excess salivation, swelling in feet, poor testicular development, poor libido in male, reduced growth rate, reduction in conception rate, and there may be the chance of high incidence of the abortion. Lots of reproductive problems which are associated with the zinc deficiency, and all classes of animal, young, kids, and adults are associated and directly related with the affected with the zinc deficiency. And cereal grains and the different mineralized salt which are being used to overcome this problem. Now coming to one by one minerals, some vital minerals I will discuss, like the functions of copper in sheep and goat metabolism, and what are the clinical signs appears. So copper play very important role in the blood formation, and the enzymes which are associated with this are peroxidase 1, and we can also say that ceruloplasmin. And the sign is anemia, development of the anemia, low hematocrit value, and reduction in the hemoglobin concentration in blood. Copper is also associated with the connective tissue synthesis and bone formation. And the enzyme associated with this are lysyl oxidase. And what are the symptoms or signs? That bone fractures may appear, abnormal development of the distal growth plates in bone, bowing of the foreleg, and osteoporosis may develop in adult big arterial wall. So these are signs of the deficiency of the copper in sheep and goat. Pigmentation of hair is also associated with the copper, and the enzyme associated is tyrosinase, and depigmentation of wool may develop in case of sheep. Keratinization is also associated with the copper, and enzyme which is involved in disulfide, which are cross-linked of disulfide bond in keratin. And keratin, we know that keratin is very much important for optimum development of the maintenance of the wool condition, and sign is the poor hoof condition, keratinization of the wool. A staple strength will be poor, and wool lacking in the cream. That means a steely wool development may appear in the sheep. These minerals are also associated with the immune functions, and the enzyme associated is superoxide dismutase, and it increases the infection. There may be the chance of increase in infection and oxidative damage of the cells. Copper is also associated with the nerve functions, that means myelin synthesis, and enzyme associated is cytochrome oxidase. And sign is symptom develop is hypothermia, exotic ataxia, like Schweber condition develop. That means the foreleg problem. No, hind leg problem may arise. Paralysis condition may develop during birth. Muscle tremor may arise. Teeth grinding, dilation of the pupil, demyelination of the nerve fiber, both centrally and peripheral nervous system. Copper is also associated with the catecholamine production, and the enzyme associated is dopamine beta hydroxylase, and the sign is neurological defect and hypothermia may arise under such conditions. Now coming to the copper and molybdenum. As we know that the sheep and goat both are not much tolerant to high copper level in their diet. Sheep are more prone in comparison with the goat. And the physiological role of copper, we know better about that. They play important role in cellular respiration, bone formation, immunomodulation, keratinization, and so many other functions which are associated with the copper. And the requirement of copper in case of goat, it varies between the 8 to 10 milligram per kg of dry matter intake. That means 8 to 10 ppm in case of goat. In case of sheep, it varies between 7 to 11 milligram per kg of dry matter intake. That means 7 to 11 ppm is required for sheep. But sheep are very highly sensitive to copper intoxication in comparison with the goat. So excess of copper in sheep may be fatal, or it may reduce the production efficiency of the sheep. So, but goat are very sensitive to copper deficiency. And molybdenum, which are essential trace mineral, but its role is not defined in the metabolic system. But this molybdenum is associated with the oxidase enzyme system. And excessive molybdenum intake, which affect the health and overall condition of the animals when excess molybdenum included in the diet of the sheep and goat. The requirement of molybdenum in sheep and goat, though it was not established, it will not be established, but the value should be 0.5 and 0.1 milligram per kg dry matter. 0.5 in case of sheep and 0.1 in case of goat in the diet, as per the recommendation of the NRC 2007. There is interaction between the copper and molybdenum as well as sulfur. So that interfere the copper metabolism at molecular level and cellular level, and it forms chelate in the rumen. And by that way, it reduces the absorption of the copper, which is also linked with the sulfur as well. So what it forms in the rumen, it forms the thiomolybdate, which reacts with the free copper atom and to form the insoluble copper complex, which are irreversible type of the complex. And by forming the copper molybdenum sulfur complex, which affect the utilization of the copper ultimately, and by that way, there may be the chance of deficiency of copper. What should be the ratio of copper and molybdenum for its optimum utilization in ruminant? It should be 3:1 to 6:1 in the ration. When these ratios are to be maintained in the ration, then there may be the less chance of interaction among those minerals and utilization of copper will be better. But under practical feeding condition, grazing ruminants which are more susceptible to showing copper toxicity in respect of the stall fed animal. So we have discussed about that, how the interaction and how this excess of molybdenum and sulfur will affect the utilization of the copper. Here we can see some photograph, attach some photograph, and we can see that what will happens in copper deficiency in case of goat. And rusty colored coat, rusty colored coat is the most obvious symptom of copper deficiency. In photograph, second and third, you can see that this is showing the long period of deficiency of the copper, rusty color coat. And this is the normal condition. The same animal in normal condition is black jet color, and when the copper deficiency arises, then looks like this. This is the same picture of the bugs. It shows 2 years later, and this bug is no longer copper deficiency. It looks like this after the treatment of the copper. And here we can see that the very little hair on his tail and eye, around the eye. So this condition is also the hind leg problem arises in swayback condition under the copper problem, copper associated problem. Zinc, which influences the various enzyme activity, as I have already discussed in detail, and zinc is also associated with the vitamin A synthesis. It is also associated with the membrane stability of RBC. It is also associated with the metabolism of vital nutrients and so many other things which are associated with the zinc. So zinc is very much important, and it must be added in proper amount in the diet to maintain these functions of the animals. And zinc, which play very important and key role in maintaining the integrity of epithelial cells of reproductive organ. So very vital and very much associated with the reproduction also. It is also necessary for the embryo implantation and proper embryo development. And here we have attached some photograph. We can see the deficiency symptom or a skin related problem under the zinc deficiency condition in goat and sheep. Now coming to one major important trace minerals, cobalt deficiency. So cobalt deficiency in sheep and goat. Cobalt is a trace minerals and it requires in very small quantity, that is 0.11 milligram per kg feed on dry matter basis. And the vital component of the vitamin B12 is quart. So dietary supplementation of quart is required for optimum synthesis of the vitamin B12 or cyanocobalamin in case of ruminants. So we must supplement, we must ensure that the mineral mixture, whatever we supplemented, must contain optimum amount of the cobalt. That will help in the cyanocobalamin synthesis in sheep and goat. What arises in cobalt deficiency in different countries? There are different names. In New Zealand, the name is bush sickness. In Great Britain, pinning. In South Australia, named cost disease. Western Australia, named wasting disease. In USA, it named salt disease and Grand Traverse diseases. So different name of the cobalt deficiency in different countries. The predisposing factors are sandy soil and leached soil. Sandy, highly leached soil, high limestone content, where the fodder and feed, whatever the fodder grown on that condition, there may be the chance of the deficiency of the soil. Waterlogged soil, rapid plant growth is another predisposing factor. What happens? Anorexia may develop, feed intake will reduce, Feed intake is directly associated with the growth performance. So poor growth performance of the animal, continuous ocular discharge, photosensitivity condition may arise, and increased susceptibility to parasitic problems and infection is also may arise due to poor immunity condition. Megaloblastic anemia may develop. That means microcytic anemia, or it is type of the pernicious anemia, where the RBC size is increased. Ocular lesion may occur. Cardiovascular problem may arise in quality deficiency. Now coming to the requirement of mineral mixture for supplementing sheep and goat. So this table shows the characteristics and requirement like moisture, calcium, phosphorus, iron, iodine, copper, manganese, cobalt, fluorine, zinc, acid insoluble as and sulfur in percentage basis. Accordingly, mineral mixture can be supplemented to sheep and goat. Forage is very much important. Whatever the forages and roughages we are offering or grown for offering to feeding to the animals, whether they are optimum in minerals or not, whether they are deficiency or it is in excess. So we should test the quality of the forage before feeding to the animals in those areas. So laboratory testing of the quality of the forage is very important to know the actual concentration of the minerals in those areas. So when calcium, good forage quality, there are different percentage of the calcium, phosphorus, potassium, magnesium, sulfur, sodium, iron, copper, manganese, zinc, and selenium. And the concentration required, you can see in this table, concentration required under the pregnancy condition, nursing twins, and young stage. So different stage of the physiological condition, the requirement is variable. Major benefits of the mineral mixture. What are the major benefits? So mineral mixture improve the production performance, improve metabolic function. It helps in optimum absorption of the nutrients. It helps in immunomodulation. It improves the reproductive efficiency. It helps in better conception rate. It improves farmers' economy. What are the chelated mineral? I just tell about the chelated mineral, how it can be prepared. So chelated means there is a covalent bond formation between the metal ion, that means minerals, and ligand, which acts as a carrier. So ligand may be the protein or amino acids, and it is used as chelating agent. So organic compounds which are attached to inorganic compound and that improve the nutrient uptake. And finally, when we use the chelated minerals, it increases the bioavailability of the minerals in the system. Now coming to the mineral mixture feeding. Feeding of mineral mixture in appropriate amount to sheep and goat due to the differences in copper requirement and its sensitivity. And NINP Bangalore, they have developed the goat and sheep mineral mixture separately and named gotamine and sheepamine for sheep. The dosage rate of mineral mixture in case of sheep and goat is 20 to 25 gram per day. In case of kid, 4 to 6 gram once a day. And in case of when we prepare the concentrate mixture, it will be 2%, which shall be mixed in the concentrate mixture for getting optimum mineral concentration. So these are some examples of commercial manufacture of the sheep and goat mineral mixture like Nandi Agrovet Private Limited, Kamdenu Feeds, Shakti Feeds, and Summer India Limited. So these are the manufacturer of the sheep and goat mineral mixture. Here you can see that the goat mean and sheep mean. There is a mineral leaks. Some farms like neutral leaks, they prepare the mineral leaks and mineral leaks. That leaks are the method which are ideal under the field condition to supply the mineral, additional mineral to those animals to reduce the chances of deficiency of the minerals. And it also helps in fulfilling the requirement of the mineral as per the demand of the animal. And there is less chance of overdosing of mineral when we use mineral leaks. So finally, I conclude our presentation that the mineral mixture are essential for optimum performance of sheep and goat. Mineral deficiency and toxicity, which alters the performance, as well as it causes the heavy economic loss to the farmers. Mineral intake in sheep and goat, which needs to be monitored properly to meet the requirement, and it must be provided for maintaining good herd performance. However, excessive intake is costly affair and it does not result in higher production. Rather, it causes complications and it affects the utilization of other important minerals and absorption of other nutrients as well. So, finally, we can say that the focusing on forage production, quality first, then provide minerals that are likely to be deficient, and such practice shall be cost effective. Thank you very much.